So next we'll go to our uncontested Democratic candidates for the Georgia State House. So the House of Representatives was created in 1777 during the American Revolution, making it actually older than the United States Congress itself. What is commonly known as the State House is the lower house of the Georgia General Assembly within the state of Georgia. There are currently 180 elected members to the House across the state of Georgia. Within Cobb County, we have 15 state representatives, of which 6 are Democrats. Our effort for this year is to improve that number. We will begin with opening statements. Our statements will have from random drawing and will be heard from left to right. So with that, we would like to start with Ms. Karin Sandiford.
Great. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you, Cobb Democratic Party, for holding this very wonderful forum. I am Karin Sandiford, and I'm running for House District 46. I am a first-time candidate. I, all my entire life, have been a devoted voter, always voted, but wasn't really very much part of this political situation until all of our lives changed, I think, in 2016. I am a technology consultant. I own my own company. I have been here living in East Cobb in 46, actually for 11 years. I am an immigrant. I am a very proud citizen of the United States that I chose on purpose to love. And I am a technology geek, basically, who is looking for changes that we all long for, looking at bringing people together for solutions. Of all of the titles that I have gotten as an engineer, as an executive MBA, this different leadership positions that I've held throughout corporate America, the title that is the most dear to me is the title of mom. I have 4 children, and they are my 4 reasons for running. Marcello, Raymond, Christina, and Aaron are my reasons for running. I am looking to bring pragmatic solutions that we all need, solutions to problems that don't come in red or blue color, but it come in just our children's color. It comes in just our community becoming safer. So I am looking to bring in funding for education. I'm looking for telecommuting solutions. I am to combat traffic. I am looking for expanding Medicaid so we can keep our federal tax dollars in-house. I am looking also to look at outside things for equal pay, for equal work. There's things that we can be done there as well. And most important to me, I want to be able to know that I can and we can together protect the Second Amendment right and enact gun reform as well to keep our communities safe and our children safer. I am thankful very much for having this opportunity. Karin Sandiford, look for KARIN4GA.com, running for House District 46. Thank you, Michael.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Sandiford. Next up, we will have our current state representative for House District 42, Ms. Teri Anulewicz. Teri, please.
Thank you so much, Michael. Yes, my name is Teri Anulewicz, and I'm very honored and proud to represent House District 42. I just finished up my first session in the Georgia House of Representatives. It was a very fun session. It was a lot of hard work, and I am very eager to begin serving in January of 2019 with all of these Democrats who are here with us tonight. It's going to be a very exciting summer and fall. But yes, I do live in House District 42, which includes parts of Smyrna and Marietta and unincorporated Cobb County, southeastern Cobb County. I served on the Smyrna City Council for 10 years prior to running unopposed in the special election last November. And my professional background is in alliance development, coalition building, grassroots, and grass tops coordination. And I bring all of those skills, and I've always brought all of those skills to my work in the community and to public service. There are a couple of things that I wanted to emphasize, a couple things from this past session that I worked a lot on, and I'll talk about transit towards the end. But the big things that we have going on in House District 42 and that we had going on here in the state this year are, of course, education. We all heard in the news that the fiscal year 2019 budget fully funds the QBE, the Quality Basic Education Formula. That is great news. That means $10 million going into Cobb County schools and $800,000 going into Marietta City Schools budget for their FY 2019 budget. That is great news. So what is next? The next thing we really need to talk about is 2 things. One is making sure that we do have free technical college through the Hope Scholarship Program. The second is making sure that we have true universal pre-K at every neighborhood elementary school so that every child has the opportunity to attend pre-K. pre-K4 specifically in their community. Affordable housing is an issue that I'm hearing a lot about. We know that Cobb County is booming. Southeastern Cobb County especially is growing at a rapid clip. That's fantastic news. It's great for our businesses. It's great for our housing values. What does it mean, though, for people who are in the middle class? When people say affordable housing, they need to think about housing for teachers, housing for first responders, housing for community, for state and municipal employees. So we need to think about how we can have a home for everyone in our community. We've talked about Medicaid expansion. That is a huge deal. In House District 42, 42% of our residents do not have health insurance coverage. The Georgia Budget and Policy Institute released a study last week, said that in Cobb County alone, if we expanded Medicaid in Georgia, an additional 29,000 people would have access to health insurance. That is absolutely a priority for us as we go into the 2019 legislative session. And finally, I wanted to just again talk about transit. We had House Bill 930 that passed. I was delighted to work very hard on that bill and getting support for that in Cobb County and from a lot of other Democrats and from a lot of other Republicans too. And we have a lot of hard work to do this summer in Cobb County, and I am excited about keeping transit moving in Cobb County. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Anulewicz. Next up, we have candidate for House District 36, Jen Slipakoff.
Thank you, Chairman Owens. The district I'm looking to represent is District 36, which is part of Kennesaw and part of Porter Springs on the Cobb County side of the line. There has been a national movement of women stepping up to run for office. After the 2016 presidential election, women everywhere were waking up and realizing that they needed to stand up and they needed to speak out. And standing up and speaking out is hard. I know how hard it is because I've been doing it for the last 7 years. I have been standing up and speaking out for marginalized groups. I have already been spending my time in the lion's den, advocating for the LGBT community, working across the aisles with legislators who don't necessarily share our ideology. I've worked in some of the area's most conservative public schools, working with administrators and families, helping them be better able to support their LGBTQ students. So I didn't wake up on November 9th, 2016, realizing that I needed to stand up and start fighting. I woke up that morning realizing that I needed to stand taller and I needed to fight harder. And there are so many issues to fight for. Things like making sure we can afford health care. If not necessarily for us, our spouses, and our children, then certainly for our aging parents, who we are already taking care of or know that we are going to be taking care of in the near future. We need to find solutions to transportation because I know that we are all tired of sitting on gridlocked roads. We've got to talk about education and the disparity of the quality of education that exists in Cobb County. We all benefit from an educated community. And we need to figure out how single moms trying to raise their kids can make the same amount of money as a man doing the same job. I'm up against several Republicans. These candidates are running on a platform of preserving Georgia's conservative values. And what they've deemed those values to be are family and faith and freedom. Now, I don't know about y'all, but those sound an awful lot like my values. Those aren't conservative values. Those are American values. Those are my values. The only difference is I can honor those values without excluding people, without marginalizing people, without hating anybody. I believe that there is enough room for all of us at the table. I certainly don't believe in taking chairs away. And if folks think that there is not enough room at the table for all of us, then I think we need a bigger table. I welcome the opportunity to earn your support and your vote in November.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Slipakoff. Our next candidate is a former president of Young Democrats of Cobb County. He's now running for House District 34, Matt Southwell.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you to the Cobb Democrats for giving us all the opportunity to speak to the community tonight. District 34 is downtown Kennesaw, the KSU Kennesaw campus, Kennesaw Mountain, Kennesaw, and a little bit of North Marietta. I'm running for one because every state lawmaker who represents any portion of Kennesaw is from outside of Kennesaw. We do not have a single state legislator who lives in the city of Kennesaw. So it's important that Kennesaw gets a voice in the state legislature, but it's more important that Kennesaw gets the right voice. That means we need to elect someone who prioritizes public education. I'm going to prioritize that by fighting to update the school funding formula, which has not been touched since it was first enacted in 1985. I'm also going to fight for expanding the Hope Scholarship, like Teri said, to cover tuition at technical schools as well. We need a lawmaker who's going to prioritize the economy. And that means making sure that if you are working 40 hours a week, you are able to support yourself and your family. I'm going to do that by fighting for an increase in the minimum wage. But I'm also going to try to pair that with a tax break for small businesses in the short term so that they are not hurt by any increase in labor costs. We need a representative who's going to protect our environment. I'm a big fan of green energy, and I've heard a lot of horror stories about hazardous waste dumping, particularly in middle and rural Georgia, and I want to do something about that. I want to tighten those restrictions. And lastly, we need someone who will fight for the equality of all Georgians. Myself, I'm a member of the LGBT community, and in 2016, my opponent, the incumbent representative for District 34, voted in favor of House Bill 757, which was a discriminatory bill against my community, and it was opposed almost unanimously by the Georgia business community. I will join the business community and I will join the LGBT community in protecting the rights of all Georgians. Again, I'm Matt Southwell, running for State House District 34, and I hope to win your vote in November.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Southwell. We do have time for questions, so we'll do one round of questions for each candidate. And the question is, we all know that the Georgia General Assembly is only in session for 40 days each year. But fortunately for all of us, we need state representatives that will serve us 365 days of the year. So my question is, what do you view as your most important role outside of the 40 days that the General Assembly is in session? And Matt, we'll start with you and work our way back across.
Okay. Outside of the 40-day session, the remaining 325 days of the year, the most important job of a representative is to listen to the people. Go out into the community, hold town halls, speak with people face-to-face at events in the community, and really listen to their concerns and try to work with them to create solutions that we can bring to the table during the next 40-day session.
Thank you. Ms. Slipakoff.
I've lived in my district for over 10 years, and during that time, it is no secret that I have been unhappy with my representative. I found that he didn't represent everyone in the district, nor was he willing to meet with me as a constituent. And like Matt said, I think that the most important job that we can bring to the state legislature is listening to our constituents. That is literally what we're there for, and also to be a voice for them. Through my advocacy work and through my activism, I have learned how to be a voice, and I will use those skills to represent the district.
Thank you, Ms. Slipakoff. Representative Anulewicz, same question to you.
Definitely, and the word that comes to mind first is collaboration. That is how we're truly going to get things done that really improve the lives of our constituents and all of the stakeholders in our district. And I was able to have that opportunity actually because I was unopposed for the special. I didn't have to spend as much time actually doing door-to-door campaigning, and I was able to spend more time getting to know people in the parts of the district that I didn't know as well. I know Smyrna very, very well. I've worked in the Smyrna community for more than a decade, so I was able to get to know folks in the Marietta community. You know, when we talk about affordable housing, solutions aren't going to come without collaboration between the state, the county, and the cities. So I've been working with people in the cities to talk about what are ideas, what are things that we can do, talking to people in the county. Transit is the same thing. I mean, it is literally requiring a collaboration between the the Cobb General Assembly delegation, and the Cobb County Commission so that we can move forward with the transit committee that is going to actually be determining how we approach transit under House Bill 930 in Georgia. Talking with the police chiefs in Marietta and in Smyrna to understand more about how they approach community policing and how that works. So the collaboration is really how I spend those days.
Great. Thank you, Representative. And Ms. Sandiford, the same question to you. What do you view as the most important role of a legislator outside of the 40 days when you're in the session?
Thank you. I think the most important one as a representative is for you to listen to and speak on behalf of the people that you're representing. The only way that we can do that is if I'm actually asking for the input of how they think about all of these issues that may or may not be comfortable for us to talk about. And I am very committed to and not afraid to look at issues that have been very divisive in the past, to hold town hall meetings continuously and not cancel them like my opponent has done, and actually have the ability to compromise, to listen, and to look at how we can come together to find solutions that we all need in a compromising way so that we can keep moving forward together. That is the slogan of my campaign, and it's not just the slogan, it's what I believe and what I have done as a technology leader for over 25 years. And that is what I'm committed to do 365 days out of the year. Thank you.
I'm going to read a statement from Louisa Wakeman, who's a Democratic candidate for Georgia House District 43. Unfortunately, she could not be with us tonight, but she's prepared this brief statement so that the voters in her district can learn more about her campaign. Louisa is running in District 43, a district that has not had a Democratic choice since 2010. A 25-year resident of East Cobb, Louisa became officially politically active in 2016. Her early careers in financial planning, then later nursing, and now working at Georgia's largest employer, Delta Airlines, have prepared her to serve her community with fiscal responsibility, professional compassion, and insight. Voters can learn more about Louisa at electlouisa, LUISA.com. But in the short term, we'd like you to know, Louisa will work to break the cycle of crisis and profit impacting our health care. She believes our schools should be fully funded and students and teachers should benefit from the recent changes to our state funding. As your state representative, Louisa will work hard to bring us together to find common sense solutions for the district. Again, for more information, please visit the campaign website at electlouisa.com. That's LUISA. Thank you.
Thank you. And that statement was delivered by Jacqueline Bettidapour, first Vice Chair of the Cobb County Democratic Committee.